Some of Singapore's greenest ideas aren't in its parks. They're built into the city itself. A garden rising through 4 towers. A hospital planned around nature. A cooling system shared across an entire town. What do these places reveal about the kind of city we can build for ourselves? In the CBD, heat builds fast. Concrete and glass trap warmth, and most skyscrapers rely on air conditioning to fight it. Marina 1 tries something different, working with nature instead. This is the Green Heart, a garden rising 34 stories high across 4 towers. Gaps between the buildings draw air through, and layered planting inside helps cool the space naturally.
So some of them are actually already flowering. You changed some of the species already.
Yes, sir.
And this landscape was shaped by Terence. His job was to make a CBD tower feel less like concrete and more like a place that breathes.
It was about making sure that the greenery sort of formed the fabric of the entire building. So it wasn't going to be structure without any elements that made it more friendly. For us, always it's been that a building shouldn't feel sterile.
But to make this urban garden feel natural, the team first had to understand something invisible: microclimates. Light, wind, and shade shift from one level to another.
So we actually choose plants for microclimates. The plants that are less woody will respond to the conditions more in the shade. The ferns and the bigger leafed foliage plants will like the semi-shade conditions. For some other areas which are more windy, we might look at trees, plants, palms that might be suitable to coastal conditions because they are exposed to stronger winds.
Behind every plant is daily work from the people who keep the Green Heart alive.
So you can check in front. Is there any water run?
One of them is Rosli. He leads the team that tends to these 160,000 plants across the 4 towers. Keeping a place like this healthy means constantly reading what the plants need. Pests, leaf color, moisture, each one is a signal. Miss one, and a small issue can spread quickly in a vertical garden.
Pest is not easy to treat. There is a chewing and sucking inside. So some might be also fungus issue, from the soil.
And water is one of the biggest variables. Even with automated irrigation, the team checks, adjusts, and waters by hand when they need to.
One day, we have 2 irrigation cycles, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Sometimes that's not enough because I only run about 10 minutes. In between, is there any leakage, burst, dislocate? We need to stop the operation of this irrigation so we can do the rectified. We have to use manual watering.
Spaces like this offer something rare in the CBD. A place where work and nature sit side by side.
It's about feeling that you're not claustrophobic. People do need to come out and feel like you're taking a break from your office environment. So they have the comfort of the green and the sounds of the waterfall.
Designing green into dense developments matters. It changes how people use the space, not just how it looks. And letting nature shape the way we live is not limited to parks or public spaces. Sometimes it appears in places you'd least expect. A hospital is usually where nature stops. But here, it begins the moment you step through the doors.
we need to help our landscape team conduct more checks.
Donald has been involved in the hospital's planning from day one, helping shape how it uses nature as part of its system.
This hospital was designed with the concept to allow patients, staff and visitors to be immersed in an environment where they are like trekking within a jungle. You will be able to hear water, and sometimes after heavy downpour, you would be able to smell the rain. So that actually allows the patients and staff to feel that they're not in an environment that is sterile and cold.
It's a biophilic approach that brings nature into the building to support how people live and feel. And that difference shows in everyday moments.
Morning, Mr. To. If you need anything, just call me, okay? You feeling better? Okay.
This is Liana, a senior ICU nurse. She spends most of her day in a space people rarely associate with nature. But even here, nature finds a way in.
Normally, when people think of ICU, they will think about a sterile environment. But in KTPH, we have a full-size window that faces the greenery instead of a building.
And that view does more than brighten a room.
What I noticed is that instead of staring at the ceiling, my patient is more at peace and calm when they're looking at the window. Hence, it helped me while I'm delivering care to them because they are more approachable.
Outside the ICU, nature works in other ways. The hospital was designed to open towards Yishun Pond, allowing wind to move naturally through every ward.
When we started the planning of this hospital with the architects, we actually did some computational fluid dynamics, and we also built an architectural scale model to simulate how the wind and the way natural ventilation will react.
By testing both computer and physical models, the team could position the blocks to catch wind, reduce heat, and keep the wards naturally ventilated.
Studies have shown that when patients are exposed to natural lighting and natural ventilation, as well as green spaces, they actually do recuperate much faster.
And beyond well-being, the design choice has a practical impact too.
Air conditioning actually constitutes close to 60% or more of electricity consumption. Having a natural ventilation concept would really help us to reduce the reliance on electricity.
Here, wind, light, and greenery are part of the care environment, supporting healing while lowering energy use. And across the island, another sustainable idea works on a much bigger scale. In most neighborhoods, every home cools itself. In Tengah, cooling is shared. There are centralized cooling systems, each serving a group of 6 to 15 HDB blocks. Think of it as several big, efficient air conditioners serving an entire town. Hidden beneath the walkways and rooftops is a network that sends chilled water to homes across the estate.
Return 10.2, okay.
And Li Yang is part of the team that keeps it running smoothly.
The centralized cooling system comprises of major equipment such as chillers, pumps, and the cooling towers. So CCS uses highly efficient chillers that are located on the rooftop. The chiller cools down water by transferring heat from the water to its own internal refrigeration loop. This is then dissipated through cooling towers. So this water-cooled process is much more efficient as compared to the conventional aircon that our houses use.
But what does all this look like inside a flat? Much simpler than you'd expect. Chilled water is piped to flats, where a fan coil unit in each room circulates the room's air over these chilled pipes to cool the room.
CCS mitigates the urban heat island effect by eliminating outdoor condensing units. This reduces the stack effect where heat from the lower units raises the temperature of the units above.
A system this large only runs smoothly because a team is watching it at all hours.
Our engineers are able to access the live systems dashboard remotely. So this helps them to monitor and to troubleshoot any problems that might occur on site.
They keep an eye on the system's temperature and flow and respond the moment something is off. And beyond real-time monitoring, the system depends on monthly maintenance to stay efficient.
We conduct preventive maintenance.
All within the acceptable range.
We also do regular calibration of our instruments to ensure that the data collected is accurate. So this helps to reduce the downtime of our equipment as well as to improve the lifespan.
It's the quiet, routine work that keeps a neighborhood comfortable. Across a skyscraper, a hospital, a new town, the solutions take their own forms. Different needs, same intention. To shape a city that feels better to live in, one building at a time.